Alright, welcome to episode 7 of History Rewritten. Last time we saw Iberia get absolutely torn to pieces after the purple team and the blue team had a massive war over Iberia, which resulted in the independence of Canada, of this greyish nation, this Granada nation, and this purplish nation got a load of land. Also Morocco is technically in Iberia, just a slight bit. Anyway, their war eventually got third-partied by the yellow team, who managed to grab up these two cities from the purple team and crippled the purple team even further after they lost their entire Iberian colony. I mean, they did at least gain some stuff because they got Sardinia and Sicily. It's just that they lost a load of stuff, so it wasn't really that positive. Otherwise, we saw more expansion into Britain, expansion into India, and not too much else. It was mostly just a war last time. But we're going to be continuing the expansion today. Not wars. Has this sludge nation makes it up to this river, lake, and finally gets to the Gulf of Finland. They're going to be doing more expansion because they're a massive nation. As they go and border the Terracotta Nation, and also go all the way around the south of their border, and even also connect up with Crimea, going along here, and they've just massively increased the size of their state. So, I'm not entirely sure which country is the biggest in the world. It might just be the blue African team, but these guys are pretty close, I think. I mean, the Terracotta Nation might be pretty big, because they've got Britain, Sweden, well, not all of Sweden, they've got Scania, North, Central Europe, I don't know, stuff like that. I do know, but yeah. These guys seem like a contender, definitely, for being the biggest nation in the world. And they definitely control a lot of land, because, like, look at this huge empire. Oh no, I can't believe I just did that. If this was a country today, it'd be scary. Anyway. Nonetheless, here you go. A huge Central Eastern European blob. So, that's quite cool. One of our newest and poorest nations, the Grey Team, is going to be expanding a slight bit. However, yep, they're all cold, so they're not having a great time. They probably just like farm reindeer, so I mean, it doesn't sound like the worst. I wouldn't mind farming reindeer, maybe. If that was all that I knew. There's a lot worse things to do than farm reindeer. So, yeah, no. It's just how you look at it. That's the right colour, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, just checking that. No. However, they are going to even colder bit because they don't really have any choice. They might actually be the poorest nation in the world. It's kind of sad. I mean, somebody's got to take the role, and Tuvalu doesn't exist in this, so that's a shame. Here you go, got the The brown team has been really reclusive recently. After they took down the green team, they've kind of just sat there and done their thing. But they have been making money. I said I was going to change their capital city from this central one, but recently trade routes have been built through the Caucasian region, because they've been able to go through this bit and then go up here. Trade routes aren't that big, but you know, they've kind of got a thing that goes around here, probably over here, and then maybe around here. There's well like a Black Sea, so it looks something like this. But then also, you know, you've got this northern bit. So yeah, this city is relatively important. I suppose you could put it down here, but also you have it going from the red team's capital. Actually, probably. No, the red team's thing does go up like this. And you've got trade from the Caspian going through theirs. And then also trade from the Black Sea going through their capital. So it's alright placement. It's just that there's not a huge population there. The most populated city is probably this one in like Baku. Yeah, I'd say it was that one. They're all relatively close. So, but it's just the capital's not in a wonderful place to live in. Going on to the Mint Nation. They are expanding slightly more because, you know, they have a big competition with the Lime team. So people keep leaving and defecting to go to the Lime team because it's just nicer than being in Iran. Like, I'd rather live in India than Iran. But you know, they have built quite a large nation for themselves now, so that's good. At least for them. I'm not sure they're a very rich one though. The Orange team is kind of like a supplier for everyone, to be honest, because they've helped pick up the Lime team's economy, and they've helped pick up the Dark Blue team's economy, and also the Mint team. Although the Mint does have trade with the Red team, which is the #1 world economy, of course, and the Green team. So it's quite cool. Going back over to the other side of the world, where we have British expansion by the Terracotta Nation. So Brittany's kind of given up on expanding into Britain now, because it's just so far away from where they are and their capital is. It doesn't look that far, but it is a lot to support, and there's been a lot of people who are going out there because, you know, agriculture, you can't really grow a lot of stuff in Brittany. Well, you can, but there's not loads of room in that area. So lots of people have gone for just open, free land to farm on. And that's meant that the population split 50-50 between Brittany and all of this area. So they don't have a huge amount of influence over what's going over there. And they're kind of worried that it might break away. So, you know, scary thoughts of the Breton team. However, the Terracotta Nation is doing quite well with their colonisation of Britain. They've already made it up all the way into Scotland, so that's quite cool for them. They're also going to continue with their Swedish and Norwegian colonies. So, got this Swedish one going down to here, and the Norwegian one going all of the way over here. So yeah, they have got an empire that stretches lots of the northern areas of the world, well, of Europe. So they might become quite influential within the future, although I'm not guaranteeing they're going to hang on to any of this, because it's pretty far away. And the conditions there are quite different to what's going on in like Germany and the Netherlands and Denmark and stuff. So yeah, anyway, the purple team did suffer a lot last time, so they're going to make a bid to expand across southern France. So they go all this way. It's quite mountainous here, but you know, they're not in a happy mood. The French are going to join in with this and get to the Mediterranean coast, because that's pretty important. And also expand further into central France. So there you go. Big French team. You know, it might be quite important sometime in the future also. Having a coast with the Atlantic usually is quite important, but who knows? There's so many pinks. And yeah, so the purple team is attempting to rebuild, though it might be a long time before they get back to their old glory. Because now, I would say the yellow team is probably #2 in the world. Red, yellow, maybe orange, then maybe the purple team will probably be the blue African country. I don't know, maybe like Crimea, the green team, the brown team, the pink team, the mid one. There's lots of growing economies, like the lime teams. It's a reasonably good life there. I mean, it's just lots of labour, to be honest, but you can live a comfortable life. It's just they don't actually have loads of money saved up. But their population's big, so that's one thing for them. Blue team is going to be doing a similar thing to the purple team and trying to expand upon their country since they lost a huge amount of stuff and a huge amount of people. So just grabbing up this extra land can be pretty beneficial. Well, maybe not, seeing as it's desert, but it makes them look stronger, so that's good. Although they are absolutely massive still. Huge load of stuff. It's kind of like North African Union thing they've got going on here. So it's entirely possible that more regions break away in the future, like Morocco and, like Grenada and stuff like that. But we'll have to see. They've got quite a good grasp over the Algerian, Tunisian area, so it's probable it would be in Libya, although the dark blue team might be able to help them if Libya broke away. Although, the dark blue team, it's really just suffering. I'm not entirely sure why. Well, nobody really goes over there, trades them, because the blue team's stronger. It's got a much bigger influence. There's so many other stronger nations in the Red Sea and in the Mediterranean. They're not great. Anyway, Moroccan country is going to be doing some expansion. I need to find out what the Moroccan country's colour was. Because, I worked out how to synthesize all these cool new colours, so that's quite fun. So, let's see, red, 87. I should have done this prior to starting, it's just I don't know. And blue, 96. That's 296, crikey. Anyway, so, that's about right, let's go. That's cool. They're going to be expanding a slight bit. They're still a relatively poor nation, but, yeah. Something I didn't mention is their beef with the southern Spanish nation, the Granadan one. They just really hate each other. Like, yellow team, purple team, blue team, they hate each other a lot. But it is nothing compared to the hate shared between these two countries. Like, their people just absolute hate. There's no love, you could not find any love between them. If there's a Moroccan person who went into the Granadan country, instantly killed. If a Granadan person went into the Moroccan country, instantly killed. There is just... it's absolute hate. Might be to do with this colony that the Moroccan country have over here, but also they just dislike each other a lot. They worked together to get their independence, but they didn't enjoy it. So, yeah. The yellow team is going to be expanding a bit because they've made loads of money recently. They just conquered what was the number 2 nation in the world, and now it's like number 3. So, the purple team's not doing too bad. I actually think it's number 4, I said, after the orange country. So, yeah, but yellow team, they're back. I'm not sure if it's a good thing they're back, seeing as the way they treat people isn't wonderful. The king's more of a dictator. It's like an absolute monarch. I mean, I think most of them are absolute monarchs. There's no constitutional monarchs, at least. But this guy, if you don't do something how he wants it done, instantly killed. A theme of this time period is just people killing each other. It's not a happy time. But yeah, as you can see, there are more countries bordering on the Sludge Nation, which is making them quite rich. But also, they're just supplying food to everyone in the world, because that agricultural thing is crazy. Their government, of course, they have a king, but advising the king, they've got a whole lot of farmers who help them with decisions and stuff. And if you own land, you can help influence that. So they are quite, in a way, quite a democratic country, but also, unless the king says something will happen, it doesn't happen. So the king does still hold power, but yeah. Anyway, the Crimean, the Yellow, and the Sludge Nation will divide up this area of land, because, land is what they really want. So, there you go. Europe is slowly getting more and more filled in, and it is just very slow for some reason, so that's a shame. Anyway, Brittany has decided to expand upon its efforts in, France, so it's gonna go all this way, which, it's a lot for Brittany, but for anyone else, that's a pitiful amount of expansion. However, it will draw more people back into their country, away from Wales and Cornwall. Well, Cornwall's only this bit, but England and Wales. So that's good for them and the stabilisation of their country. Anyway, green team, They have got a lot of cities. They've been building lots of cities. Caspian trade isn't a huge thing. Like Mediterranean trade is just so much bigger than the Caspian trade. But they are holding quite a good economy at the moment, despite their losses, which they are recovering from, although they still do hate the red and the brown team. Not as much in Morocco and Granada though. Nothing. Probably nothing in the entire history of this world will compare to their hate. So we'll see. Sorry. We'll see how that evolves over the series. I can guarantee you it will result in wars. Yeah, the green team, they're going quite eastward. They're expanding more into Kazakhstan and just the general steppe, Stan area. So, that could be quite important in the future. Yeah. They're turning further away from the West and Europe and stuff, and becoming one of the most eastern nations in the world. You have a lot of countries, I don't know how many. Anyway, speaking of eastern countries, yeah, huge exodus, I think that's the right word, of people travelling to India because they've discovered loads of cool stuff like spice and loads of free land. Recently, the Lime team's been expanding all around this. I mean, not expanding, just exploring. So they probably know like this much exists, and more people are going to start discovering even more of that. So we need to get some colors generated. We're going to have. That looks pretty cool. But this group of people, they're going to be heading from Arabia and making their way round here, across India, and then they also go all the way up here. So they've gotten to the east side of India now, which is quite a distance. And there is our first new Indian nation. Our next one will be this one. They travel from a similar place, going from the Orange Nation. Also a few people from Europe, but mostly Orange Nation stuff. And they'll be making their way past the Maldives, Chagos archipelago. So they're gonna get to this island, use that as like a base. They probably can't sail this far. Yeah, they probably can. Monsoons are helpful, I think. And they're gonna start their nation over here. So this is our. That's not yellow. Our second new Indian nation, so that's quite cool. And I think need one more. So our last one will be this brown one, and they'll be setting themselves up in central India. So right about here. Anyway, yeah, this is a big step in exploring Asia and getting more nations there. I mean, eventually, the entire world's going to be filled in, and of course, the entire world includes Asia, so it's pretty exciting. And these nations are, although they don't trade with many people except from each other, they're making lots of revenue, so that's good. This brownish group came from like Caucasia and Eastern Europe, so they traveled an extraordinarily long way, but it's kind of like a combination of people who aren't happy in their country. So you've got like quite a lot of people from the brown team, a few people from the yellow team, a few people from Greece, people in the red team, even some from the green team who managed to escape somehow. Because yeah, if you didn't realize, it's pretty hard to get out of this dictatorship. So yeah. Anyway, these nations are going to be making some money, however, and that means expansion, as they can like pay people to discover things and settle it. Probably just settle it voluntarily, come here for farmland and stuff. So Yellow Nation looks like this. With them exploring more of these islands and colonizing them. And the entire ocean, it seems. So it's quite cool. They do not own the seas. Anyway. This reddish one moves further towards the lime team in India. No, of course they're in India. The lime team, because they're the main trading thing. Because they've been here for countless episodes now. more episodes than I can count. And that's gotta be more than 2. Even still, they don't connect with them, so it's a shame. Anyway. And the brown team will be expanding further around just central India, because, they just want to grab up loads of this stuff before they have to worry about the coast. And they kind of want to become an important trading thing in India, so that if you had to trade with other Indian countries that might exist, you'd have to go through the brown team. So, they've got this planned out, in a way. It's pretty good for them. But also, they look like a potato, so have to give up having nice looking borders, try and be an important trade hub in India. Anyway, I think we might need to give these guys some capitals, because I don't think we'll return here today. But next episode probably will, because these guys might be quite important. So they can have their capital over here. Reddish country can have theirs over here. And the brown team will put theirs right in the middle. So there we go for India. Back to the orange team. If you didn't notice, a lot of people were fleeing from the orange team because they weren't happy. Probably because it's like an absolute theocracy. If you're not religious in the orange team, you're murdered. Once again, we return to the theme of your rights just being absolutely taken away from you. And that is going to lead to this entire southern part of the orange country. There we go. I don't know why I thought it was called Malaysia. Malaysia has not been discovered yet. It's going to lead this entire part of the orange team breaking away. So, let's find a cool colour for these guys. This colour. It blended in with the ocean. The orange team won't be able to find them there. So, the orange team are in the capital right over here. And they receive word these people have stopped cooperating. They sent traders back over to Yemen. So, that's been fun for them. And they're attempting to try and capture this island, being Socotra. And the orange team, they're not happy. They're going to conscript a load of people from the eastern area, which is the richer area, to go and fight. So they travel down the coast and go here. However, there's a whole load of boats in the Gulf of Aden and along this strait. That might be the Gulf of Aden as well. And it's really hard for them to break through and make a landing over here. Although finally they sent some stuff to Socotra, and by making camps on these islands over here, they managed to make a landing on the mainland. That's nice, isn't it? So they get over here and capture this important city, which might end up being their capital. So they go down the coast. However, they are making losses back at home because the rebellious group have attacked the orange team's important city in Yemen. And this is just a load of desert, so it's not really that important. However, it is a load of land. And it's going to be extremely tricky for the orange team to track down the people who are now attacking them. So they're going to attract some troops from Somalia and send them back to defend their home country. However, there's a few people in the red team who feel like they've been oppressed by just this complete religious madness, and they're probably travelling down here to help the Somalian country to try and get their independence. So the front line over here's stopped, and they're not making any more breakthroughs for this bit. The breakaway in Somalia has just sliced off this part. People are running into the red team and also crossing the channel Red Sea over into the dark blue team because these guys aren't playing very nicely. So they move further and further towards the city, and lots of them have just got massacre on their mind, so that's fun. Eventually they're going to encircle the city, and after this the orange team is going to agree to peace. So, there you go. Let's get down to the peace treaty. It's not going to be very tricky to do. And now to clear all this. So, for the peace treaty, it's about as basic as you can make it. The African area of the orange team gets its independence, which I haven't drawn up yet. So, although the orange team has just lost a significant amount of their important territory, it's not too bad. I mean, they invested a lot into North Africa and this Horn of Africa area. However, they can still make it back, although they're going to go quite isolationist now. But they've got trade with India. They could do that from South Arabia. So they'll be fine. They get to keep Scotia as well, so that's a positive. Anyway, yeah, new nation in Africa. Got like 4 now, so that's cute. Anyway, these guys' capitals, they've got 3 cities, 4 cities, that's quite amazing. And I think just because of the importance of India, they're going to put their capital out here in tip of Somalia. Now, it doesn't mean these two hate each other. Like lots of countries, when new countries rebel from them, absolutely hate breakaways. But these two kind of get along. The people down here are still saying true to religion, but they're not a theocracy. Like the Orange team. They're probably just a monarchy. They've got like some random noble to become their king. So yeah. However, they don't hate each other, so that's nice, I suppose. Anyway. The Preston team, although it is focusing more now on its home, are going to make one discovery. So, it's Welsh dude. He's going to discover Ireland. They get down to this bit. Belfast is up here. Dublin. Sorry, people of Dublin. And they don't set up a colony, but they kind of go, wow, there's more swamp out there. And return back home. This report reaches the people of Britain, and, you know, it's an idea. Maybe we'll eventually have Ireland get colonized. Back to Sludge Nation. Probably Sludge Nation. I feel bad for them. Anyway, they're going to expand more into Estonia and even into Russia now. So they're getting seriously cold, and I think they might be... Now, they're probably like the second most northern nation. Because the Terracotta Nation does not care about the cold, it appears. So, yeah. These guys are absolutely massive now. I think the island of Osul over there. So they've got that too. Which is pretty nice. And that might finish it off for today. I'm deliberating what I'd like to do. Tell you what, yeah, I think that's the end of it for today. Anyway, this might be a lot shorter than some of the other videos, but I felt bad for making the other one like 37 minutes long. So here's a shorter one. I mean, it's still like half an hour, but yeah. I could try and make them shorter if you prefer that. It's just, I don't know, depends. So, Sludge Nation is where we're starting for today's major cities. So they're going to have one on the Polish coast and one down here by the Yellow team because they're trading more. They're quite similar nations. I mean, the Sludge Nation people came from the Yellow team when it collapsed and had an economic meltdown. So, they kind of get along, but the Yellow team does remember how that's a load of people who left their country because their country apparently wasn't good enough. So, the Yellow team kind of hate them. A little bit. They still get along quite well. Just quick Terracotta Nation expansion. As you do. These guys have the potential to become incredibly rich. It's just the only country they border, well, they border the Breton team in Wales, but otherwise they only border the Sludge Nation, who only borders the Yellow and the Crimean team. So trade is not a very prevalent thing in their country, but you know, when they eventually work out the trade and get down to doing it, they could become incredibly rich with all these colonies and their influence over the northern side of Europe. That's pretty nice. Oh yeah, they're major cities. Also, just thought of something else I was going to do. Damn it. I think I might still do it anyway. They're going to have one down here, and as for Britain, they're going to put one right up here in Scotland, and another one in London. London now exists. Yay! We should make actual Peterborough. As for these guys in Wales, they're going to put one by Cardiff, there we go. This is not an Edinburgh. Actually, it might be. No. Yeah, pink team. These guys are not yellow. Yeah, one over here in central Brittany. Brittany is kind of over there, so whatever the world this province is. Pink team's going to put one right in the north over here, and one at the base of the Mediterranean. Purple team, it's got a French one, and they're also trying to build another farming city right where the yellow team can get it, so perfect placement for that. And they've finally constructed Rome, so that's good. As for the thing I was going to do, a new nation. We've had 4 already this video. This is like a breakthrough. This nation is kind of a Swiss country. It's a lot of people who just fled from probably the purple team, also the yellow team, and the pink team, to go over here and start their own nation in the mountains. For a while they've just been wandering around. It's a bit like the brown nation over here in Caucasia. How they were just wandering around, and finally they went, you know, we should probably make our own country. So they've gone and done that now, right in the mountains, so nobody trades with them. They've got less trade than the orange terracotta nation, and that's something, so yeah. Life's probably kind of depressing there. But they're alright with it, they just separate from the rest of the world. Gonna try and make Barcelona a Granadan country. Don't know what that is. But another city for these guys. As for the purple nation, they're gonna put one. Thing is, they don't have many trading partners. Like, these guys don't have much in this entire area, and this is the only bit that these guys border them on. So, I kind of travel around the coast for this one. So trade with these bits. That's kind of where Lisbon is, so that's cool. Moroccan country, they're gonna put one north coast over here. Algerian, Tunisian state, they're gonna have one over in this peninsula. And also continuing the Algerian northern thing. Because like Algeria, of course, they've got loads of huge cities all along the northern coast. And I kind of like that. It just looks cool on maps, I think. So I'm gonna do it. Because you can't stop me. These guys, another city on the Dalmatian coast, and one in Thrace, so that's pretty cool. This area is the richest part of their empire, probably. Like this large chunk. So they're making a lot of money there. This area, though, there is no one here, or barely anyone, because you've got the Balkan Mountains, and I mean, you've got people trading on this bit, so maybe you'll give them a city over here. But the central area is just completely nobody there, so it's a shame. Selection Nation I've already done. I kind of forgot about that. North Greece country, you can have one new one. As for the other Greek country, alright, fine. You can have one there. The blue country is just very slow at doing anything, so they can have one over here. Red team, they're just constantly building new cities. That's a huge part of what they do. I'm gonna have one over here, and another Euphrates Tigris River one, so that's cool. As for the orange team, they've realised they need more stuff just scattered around their country, so I'm going to contradict that and say they need more stuff to trade with India. So yeah, more Indian trade things popping up around the world. The Somalian nation is going to have more cities created by more trade with India. India is just becoming incredibly important at the moment. That's basically just how it is. As for India, they've got a lot of cities already, but yeah, a few cities in the interior of their country from where they actually trade with these new Indian countries, who they kind of get along with, mainly because these countries get along with them, because that's the way they make their money. So in a way, they are kind of subservient to the Lime team, but it works. It's alright. And the Mint team, getting some stuff. Green team could put one by this sea. Like, isn't this a sea that was like 5 times bigger, and then it shrunk because we did bad industrial stuff to it? I'm pretty sure it's that one, so yeah. And one over here. Oh my god, the world is quite big at the moment. Dark Blue team needs some economy, but they're not good at that. Their economy is just pretty bad. Hopefully that's the Nile. It should be the Nile. And I think that's it for the world. Oh yeah, you guys. I talked about the trade routes. They can have one there. And as for the impoverished grey nation, actually no, they're not the weakest country in the world anymore. It's the Swiss one. Yeah. See that, Switzerland. I mean, the Indian ones are probably poorer as well, so, you know, you're making your way in the world. Great. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a nice rest of your day. See you again next time. Alright, thank you. Subscribe.